Hey guys, me out for you guys. I'm going to give you guys my Europa League group stage predictions. Now, I just want to be just absolutely crystal clear right off the onset of this that these predictions are tough. Some of these predictions I'm making right now, I am not super confident in. So please understand this is just only my opinion. This is what I'm thinking is going to happen. This is not what's going to actually happen, and we will see what happens. So my goal for today is to at least get 12 of the 24 teams correct, and I'll try my absolute best to be as objective as possible, and I will also provide explanations as we go along. With all of that being said, let's go and get started. So Group A, we have CFR Cluj, Young Boys, AS Roma, CSK Sofia. I'm also going to only predict the top two, by the way, so just so you guys know. So first in this group, I'm gonna go second and first. We'll do that. Second in this group, I'm gonna go for a surprise pick here and say Cluj will come in second. Now I know what you guys are thinking. Some of you guys are probably saying, "What the heck, Cluj?" Yes, Cluj, I'm going to go with second simply because of the fact how well they did last season. You know, they came second in the group, and they had a pretty tough draw against Sevilla. And even though they went against the the Europa League champions, they still put up a good respect. They put up a good fight, and they managed to get two draws against Sevilla, and basically the away goal costed them. Because of the fact they conceded one away from home, that led to them getting eliminated. And I thought they put up a great fight. If they could beat Sevilla, if they can hold Sevilla to a draws, I think they could easily come second in this group. I think they very well can. Now that could be easily a fluke. That could be a fluke. Some you could say, in some regards. So it could be a surprise. Young Boys, I expect them to put up a good fight. And I think they'll do it. So Young Boys, of course, they're from Switzerland. And so, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say Cluj will come in second, though. Roma, I think they should top this group. Roma, they've been very good in Serie A. They came fifth last season in the Serie A table. They got the big players, Edin Dzeko. They did make the permanent signing, Chris Smalling, which, in my opinion, is a very good signing for Roma. And, of course, they do have the talented, young Italian, Zanilo, who has been pretty good for them. And, of course, some other players they also have notable are Pellegrini, I think, is pretty good. And so, yeah, I expect Roma to top this group. So yeah, moving on to Group B. The next group is Mold, Mold FK, SK, Rapid Wien, Arsenal FC, Dundalk FC. Now this is a very favorable group for one team in particular here, and I expect this team to relatively make it out here with no trouble, and that is of course Arsenal FC. Arsenal should top this group. They have the big players of Eric Obama, who's been incredible, Bernd Leno, who's been incredible in the goalkeeper-wise, and I really think this Arsenal team is really good. Lacazette's been amazing. Mikel Arteta has done a great job. And despite the fact that Arsenal did not do so well in the Europa League last season, they were a bit disappointed. They lost, I believe, in the round of 32 to, I believe it was Olympiacos they lost to on away goals. I do think Arsenal will rebound this time. And I think they're one of the favorites to lift the trophy. I think they are one of the favorites to do so. And I wouldn't be surprised if they do. So I'm going to go ahead and say Arsenal will top this group. As for second, I think second is where things get very interesting and it gets very tricky. I'm going to go for a surprise pick here and say that Rapid Wien will come in second. Most people would probably say Mold to do so. However, I'm going to go with Rapid Wien. They're the second. I believe they came second last season in the Austrian Bundesliga. And I just about tipped them to get past Mold. I think I wouldn't be surprised if Mold passes through. So I'm going to say Rapid Wien to progress. Moving on, Group C, we have Nice, Hapoel Beersheva, FC, SK Slavia Praha, Bayer 04 Leverkusen. I expect Bayer Leverkusen to top this group. They have been on great form. Of course, they did lose their big player, as in Kai Havertz, who did depart for Chelsea. However, I still think Bayer Leverkusen are still a very good team. They got the great goalkeeper in Radecki. They also do have some other big players, as in Diaby and Schick. So I really think Bayer Leverkusen will do well. Diaby. And I really think Bayer Leverkusen is a good team. I believe they finished fifth last season in the Bundesliga, so I think they'll give a good account, and I think they'll top this group. Now, second is where things get very interesting because I was really tempted to put Slavia Praha. I really wanted to. However, I feel as though Slavia, this could be too much for them, and also the fact they did let go of several players last season. That could potentially hinder. They didn't really bring in many they did bring in some replacements. I'm not so sure they'll be good enough to really replace. And when you let go of so many players, it's kind of difficult to really kind of reassess and rebound. So I'm going to go ahead and say Nice will finish second. They played well in the League One. I believe they came fourth, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Let me go and double check that real quick. So you guys, I want to make sure this is correct. So let me go and see right here, League One. So let's go like the last season because this season's just started. So, they came in fifth. My bad. They came in fifth last season, and so I really think this Nice team will do very well. And I think they'll come second in this group. So I think they'll come second. And if I do pronounce any team names wrong in the comment section, if I do pronounce any team names wrong, please let me know in the comment section below. I do apologize in advance. Moving on to Group D, we have Rangers, Lech Poznan, Benfica, and Standard Liège. Okay, come on. Rangers should come in second. Rangers, they have been very good in the Celtic division. I expect Rangers to do, once again, very well here. I do expect tough competition from Standard Liège. They could potentially tip them to second. However, I do think Rangers will finish second. As for first, I'm going to say Benfica. Benfica, for me, they have been absolutely brilliant in the Liga NOS. I know they did not win La Liga NOS, and I know Benfica, more often than not, they do tend to disappoint, and especially in Europe competitions. I remember last season, they had a I don't know how on the earth they did it. They somehow bottled a 2-0 lead against RB Leipzig away from home, which is really sad. And they somehow even found a way to bottle it this season, trying to qualify for the Champions League. They lost to, I believe it was a PAOK. It's just ridiculous, man. Benfica, man, what have you guys done? Of course, they did sell Ruben Diaz to, I believe, to Manchester City. They did bring in Otamendi, and they do have Vertonghen. So Benfica, that's kind of a tricky team to get. They sometimes can disappoint. I don't really see them disappointing, though. I think they should top this group. And so, yeah, Benfica should top this group. Let me just say that right now. Moving on to Group E, we have Granada, PAOK, Almere FC, PSV Eindhoven. Now, this is a very interesting group. This is a very tough group to call, and I'm probably going to be in the minority here and say that Granada will come in second. I think Granada, they have been very impressive in La Liga. This is a team that's been under the radar. They have very limited budget, and I really think this Granada team will do very well here and get second in this group. I think they have the big players of Rui Silva, who's been very good for Granada. He's definitely, he could end with the form of Kepa and De Gea's been. He could be the starting goalkeeper for them in the next summer's Euro. I wouldn't be surprised. Let's see who else. We got the big players of Herrera, who's been amazing, and Soldado. And like I said, they did finish 7th in La Liga last season, which is pretty impressive, and they made it here for the first time in Europa League. And I really do expect them to continue their success, and I think they will be one of the surprise picks to advance from this group. And I do think they will just about edge past PAOK. I wouldn't be surprised if PAOK manages to beat them because PAOK is a very good team, of course. And finally, first in this group is PSV Eindhoven. Of course, they did sign Mario Götze on for free. They're in the Eredivisie, and I expect them to really challenge, and I think they will top this group with relative. They should top this group. Let me just say it right now. Now, I was going to say relative ease, and I think it's kind of disrespectful, so I'm just going to say they will top this group just about. Okay. Anyways. All right, sorry about that, guys. Sometimes my monitor does that, so I do apologize for that. Moving on to Group F. We got AZ Alkmaar, H, NK Rijeka, Real Sociedad de Football, and SSC Napoli. I'm going to say Real Sociedad should come in second. I think Real Sociedad, they have been very impressive in La Liga for a while now. They were, I believe, in the top 4. I believe they were leading in the table. Well, I think they were league leaders for a while now. Of course, they have the big players that Isaac, who's been incredible, David Silva, who's been back, who they did bring in from Manchester City, a very good signing indeed. And of course, they did bring. Of course, they do have the talented Romero in goal, who's been amazing for Real Sociedad, and despite the fact he's only been there for one season, so they did, of course, lose Martin Odegaard to Real Madrid. That's a big loss indeed. And I still think Real Sociedad, despite the fact they've been kind of a little bit, their second half season was a bit topsy. They weren't able to finish that top 4. They still managed to get Europa League football, so it's better than nothing. And I think Real Sociedad will just about make it second. I do expect AZ Alkmaar to give them a real tough test. Now, as for first, I'm going to say Napoli. Napoli should top this group. Like I said, Napoli, they got the big players of Dries Mertens, Insigne, Callahan, Koulibaly. They hold them this summer, so you will not go to Manchester City. Then, of course, they have Ospino, who's been incredible. Then they even have, Merritt, who's been great, too. And I feel like Gattuso has done a great job with Napoli, and they're finally back where they should be. Because last season, Serie A, they had a very disappointing first half of the season, which led to Carlo Ancelotti getting sacked, of course. So I do think Napoli will really relish this opportunity to do well, and I think they will top this group. Moving on to Group G, we have AEK Athens FC, Leicester City FC, FC Zora, Lunazik, and Braga. I expect Braga to come in second. Braga, they of course did sell one of their big talents as in Francisco Trincao to Barcelona. I do think Braga will be very good still. They play very well in Liga NOS. And I think Braga will just about tip AEK Athens for that second place spot. I think Leicester City should top this group. Leicester City, they have been brilliant under Brendan Rodgers. They have been very good. Although their second half season was a bit disappointing, that was mainly due to the fact they had so many injuries to their key players, as in, I believe James Maddison was out injured, Soyuncu was injured, and I believe Danilo Pereira was injured, and then Ben Chilwell, who's been excellent, however, he has now been sold to Chelsea, and of course, Kasper Schmeichel has always been incredible, and then, of course, the big striker up top, Jamie Vardy, who's been scoring goals for fun this season, and then, of course, Tielemans. I could go on and on. This Leicester City has been brilliant, really awesome to watch, and I really think when Leicester City is fully fit, when their players are everyone is fully fit, I think Leicester City will be banging in goals for fun. And I think this is a very favorable group for Leicester City, so they should come out, they should advance out this group. Whether or not they'll get first or not, that's kind of remains to be seen. I do think they will just about tip Braga, though, in my personal opinion. Moving on to Group H, we have Lille, Celtic FC, AC Milan, and Sparta Praha. Once again, another interesting group here. And this one is a very tricky one to call. This one's a very tough one to call. And could go out anyway, honestly, to be completely honest with you guys. I'm going to go ahead and say Lille will come in second, despite the fact that Lille were very disappointing last season in the Champions League. I expected so much more from them. They came bottom of the group, and I think they only got a point out of the group, if I'm not mistaken. They were just not that good. I do think though, the Europa League will be much more favorable for them, and I think they'll just about redeem themselves for the Champions League failure last season. And so, yeah, I think they'll come second. First, I'm going to say AC Milan. I think AC Milan, they have been brilliant. Of course, they got the big players as Zlatan Ibrahimovic, who's been amazing. Donnarumma has been incredible. Rafael Leo has been incredible. And, of course, they did sign the big player Sandro Tonali, a very young, talented prospect from Brescia. And I do think AC Milan, they have been very good. They finished fifth last season, I believe, in not fifth. They finished sixth last season in Serie A, and I think they'll continue their hot form. And I think they'll top this group. I've really been impressed with AC Milan. Moving on to Group I, we have Qarabağ, Villarreal, CF, Sivasspor, and Maccabi Tel Aviv FC. I think Sivasspor will come in second. Like I said, it's kind of a tough call to be completely honest with you guys, and I'll just be completely honest right now. I'm just going with that gut feeling on this one. I'm just going with that gut feeling. So they'll come in second. And then I think Villarreal, they'll come in first. Villarreal, they've done very good. They have the new coach as Unai Emery, who is a Europa League expert. He has won 3 Europa League trophies with Sevilla. And, of course, the players they got are Danny Pereira, who they did bring in from Valencia. Then Takusa Kobo from Real Madrid on loan. And then they did buy Paco Alcacer from Borussia Dortmund last season on the January transfer window. Jeremy Moreno. And this Villarreal team is very good attacking-wise. As for defensively, I do think defensively they can be a bit suspect. I do think defensively is their biggest concern. However, as far as attack is concerned, I think their attack is very good. And I think their attack will do more than enough to top this group. Moving on to Group J, we have LASK, LESK, and the PFC Ludogorets, and then 1945 Royal Antwerp FC, and then Tottenham Hotspur. I think Tottenham Hotspur should win this group. 100%. Tottenham Hotspur have been very good under Jose Mourinho. And despite the fact that last season was kind of a disappointing season overall in general, Tottenham did finish 6th last season in Premier League. I do think Tottenham should be able to top this group. Like I said, they have the big players, Harry Kane, Son Heung-min. They have Steven Bergwijn has been excellent. Then they brought in Højbjerg, who's been great. Gareth Bale, that's a big signing. Then I believe they brought in Reguilon. Hugo Lloris has been pretty good. And this Tottenham Hotspur team is also one of the favorites to lift the Europa League trophy. And I do think they are in the conversation. I think Jose Mourinho is going to want to look at this and say that, yeah, we could win this trophy. If I win this trophy, it will elevate Tottenham so much for Champions League football next season. And not only that, of course, a trophy. So Tottenham Hotspur, they're going to really need to work hard to win this trophy. And I think this is about as favorable as it can get. As for second in this group, I think it's a very tough call to make. I'm going to go with Lask to just about come in second in this group. I think Lask will just about make it through. And so, yeah, that's all I have for that group. Moving on to Group K, we have PFC, CSK Moskva, Dynamo Zagreb, Feyenoord, Wolfsberger AC. I do think Dynamo Zagreb should top this group. Dynamo Zagreb, they've been very good in the Croatian League. They have been winning it for a couple of years now. They got the big players at Petkovic. They're just a very good team indeed. And I think, although at times Dynamo Zagreb can be disappointing, I remember last season in the Champions League, they really should have gone out of the group. I mean, come on, you beat Atalanta 4-0. Then you had to go with 2 draws against Shakhtar Donetsk, and you really could have easily won one of those games. And if you had just won one of those games, maybe Dynamo Zagreb could have been in the round of 16. All right. And so oftentimes they do tend to disappoint, and I believe they also did lose to Stefanovic in the Champions League qualification path. So, yeah, at times they can disappoint. However, I do think this time they will just about make it. They will top this group. I think CSK Moscow, they have been very impressive. I believe they have come in second, in the Russian Premier League. If I'm not mistaken, let me go check that real quick. Russian Premier League standings, let's see. No, they came in 4th. My bad, not 2nd. I'm completely wrong there. Yes, it's 4th place. They've been very good in the Russian Premier League, and I think they'll continue their hard form here. Feyenoord can easily challenge them, and Wolfsberger can easily challenge. So I think this one can go. This one's a kind of a tough one to make, so I'm going to just stick with that. And finally, our final group, Group L, we have Ghent, Hoffenheim, Crvena Zvezda, and Slovan Liberec. I think it's a tough call to make. I'm going to go with Ghent to come in second. I feel like Ghent has been very impressive in the Belgian league, and I think they'll come in second. First, I'm going to say it's Hoffenheim. I think Hoffenheim have been brilliant in the Bundesliga. They've been a team under the radar. They've been showing some intent, and I really think this time they could easily get into Champions League football sometime soon. I think they have been very good indeed. The players they have, Kramaric has been excellent. Dabor has been excellent. And they did bring Sessegnon from Tottenham Hotspur on loan. And I really think this Hoffenheim team is very special indeed. And they have the potential capacity to upset any team. I mean, they beat Bayern Munich, guys, 4-1. And I know it's Bayern. I know that some days there are kind of off days. Still, man, you got to give credit when it's due. And Hoffenheim, they've been very good indeed. I do expect Crvena Zvezda to easily challenge that second place spot. And who knows, Crvena Zvezda could easily advance the knockout stage. I do think Crvena Zvezda is going to be very difficult for them. And I do think they'll just about miss out. So that's my Europa League predictions. Now I'm going to give you guys my 2 dark horse picks and my 2 winner picks. And maybe we'll talk about the top goal scorer. We'll talk about that. Let me just say that right now I'm going to go for my top goal scorer. I'm going to say it's going to be Harry Kane. I think Harry Kane will be my top golden. The golden boot, and potentially Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang could also be the golden. He could also rival him for that top goal scorer. Either one of the 2, I could see winning it. As for dark horse in this competition, I really think Hoffenheim could be easily dark horse. I think they can easily make a deep run in this competition. Potentially, maybe Villarreal could also be a dark horse as well. They could potentially win it. As for my winners, I think I'm going to stick with the usual Tottenham Hotspur and Arsenal to be my winner. If I had to pick an overall winner, I think the more probable dark horse would be Hoffenheim. I think Hoffenheim will do a little bit better than Villarreal, although I do think Villarreal could easily do it. And then I'm going to give my overall winner prediction. As of now, this is just an early pick. I'm going to go ahead and say right now, I think Arsenal will win the Europa League. Yes, guys, Arsenal, I do think they'll win the Europa League. So let me know what you guys think below in the comments below. Do you guys agree with my picks? Do you guys disagree with my picks? And remember, guys, to comment, like, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys later. Peace out.